Hi, I'm Joseph Moreno,
I'm Mitchell Ring.
and our application, if Mitchell, can you bring up that?
Yeah.
Our application was the task manager, as in user task, so a task list, to-do list app that we called Priority. Um, that was our project. It's been about 2 weeks. I don't know if these are just going to go up for you, Dr. Chatterjee, or for the other class, or for the rest of the class, but yeah, it's been about 2 weeks. Um, we've had a few challenges. We kind of because of this like the weird situation we split and we said okay, one person take these two things, one person take these two things, or one person take these things, one person take these things to work on. Unfortunately we don't really have too much ready right now just because the stuff we were working on we just couldn't get to work, so now it's we're still just on the same, what's on the screen is the same old build that we had last time, but we have work in the IDE and stuff.
So what I took to put into the app was notifications, since we kind of need it to have the full functionality for location based. Because what we want to do with location based is whenever you get near a certain location, it notifies you um, when you get there. So in the event, say you want to buy milk from Ralph's, it tells you, "Hey, you're near Ralph's. Go get milk." But we want to implement it now so we make sure it works. And the way we're doing that, way we're trying to do that, I should say, is we're trying to create a notification channel, um, which in previous Android APIs you didn't need to do that. You could just designate a null notification channel, and it would just do everything through that. But because of the version we're using, we need to designate the channel. But the problem I'm having is that it doesn't seem to think that this channel.setDescription exists, even though I know it does exist based on the documentation that um, Google freely provides. Um, and I'm also trying to tie this function to a button, but the button already has a function in that it sends the data, or it tells the app to send the data to Firebase. Um, but what I wanted to do is simultaneously create the notification as well as do that, just so we know it works. And then I'll hand it off to Joseph to explain his bit.
Yeah, so what I was trying to do was work a little more on the back end, setting up the database for the multiple, for like the idea of multiple users. And because we're not using like a database that we set up ourselves, it's also not like it's not an SQL database hosted on like one of our laptops or something. It's a pre-made one. It's a one that is friendly for application development from Google. They have a feature that allows JavaScript scripts to be run off of the service itself, not run in the app, just kind of run things that can be triggered to run off of the Firebase service. And I was trying to use that for two things. One, to make a sort of basic collection, sort of like entity in our database, so that whenever a new user is created, we have sort of a basic setup that the rest of the app knows, that the rest of the app would expect to be there, so that it can read lists coming in, add them, read tags coming in, stuff like that. That did not go so well. Um, just some of the pieces I couldn't figure out on how to get them to work, on how to run the functions in the cloud, as well as some of the JavaScript, which I don't really know, as well as some of the JavaScript to make sure that it did what it was supposed to. And then I was also going to try and use it to make a certain list based on the tasks uh, that a user might input into the system. It would notice whenever a new task or whenever a new tag or category is made in the tasks, it would keep a list of all of the ones the user has separate somewhere else in the database. And unfortunately, that didn't really work either. So we're still in progress on it, but we just didn't have. They're just not done, unfortunately. But yeah, I think that's kind of where we're at right now. We still want to just get those done and then work on, hopefully by at least early April, work on the two important parts, the